All right, picture this. You're at a dinner party, glass of wine in hand, feeling like an absolute queen, until you say something that lands flatter than a pancake on a Monday morning. Suddenly, the vibe shifts. People avoid eye contact. Someone coughs, and you just know you've messed up. But what exactly did you do? That, my friend, is the danger of subtle social mistakes, the little things that quietly chip away at your reputation without you even realizing it. And the worst part? No one tells you. They just treat you differently. But today, I will tell you, because we don't do clueless energy over here. So grab your coffee or wine, no judgment. And let's talk about those sneaky little habits that might be sabotaging you. Number 1, the one-sided storyteller. We all know that one person who turns every conversation into the me show. You're telling a story about your stressful day, and suddenly they hit you with, "Oh yeah, that happened to me too." Except now they're 10 minutes deep into their story while you sit there like an unpaid therapist. And listen, I get it. You're just trying to relate. But there's a fine line between connecting and competing. The trick? Ask at least one follow-up question before launching into your own saga. Something like, "Wow, that sounds stressful. How did you handle it?" Now you're a good conversationalist instead of an energy vampire. Number 2, the just kidding insult. Okay, this one is sneaky. You crack a little joke at someone's expense, they shift uncomfortably, and suddenly you're backpedaling with a quick, "I'm just kidding." But let's be real. If you have to say that, the joke didn't land. It crashed, burned, and is currently smoldering in awkward silence. Teasing can be fun when it's mutual. But if the other person isn't laughing with you, chances are they're laughing at you later. And the worst part? No one's going to tell you they didn't like it. They'll just start acting a little different around you. So, best bet, keep it playful. If you wouldn't say it to your best friend without a just kidding escape route, maybe don't say it at all. Number 3, the chronic complainer. Nothing tanks your reputation faster than being the human equivalent of a rain cloud. You know the type. No matter what happens, they find a way to be mad about it. Them, "It's such a beautiful day." You, "Yeah, but it's probably gonna rain later." Look, nobody's saying you have to be fake positive all the time. Mondays are rough. Life is annoying. But if every conversation with you feels like an inconvenience report, people will start dodging you like a subscription email they forgot to unsubscribe from. Number 4, the close talker. Personal space is sacred. If I can feel your breath on my face, we are either very close friends, dating, or I am trapped in an elevator with you. And this is now my villain origin story. Look, I get it. Some people are just naturally more in your face when they talk. Maybe it's enthusiasm, maybe it's just how they were raised. But here's the thing. Most people do not love feeling like they're in a conversation and a hostage situation at the same time. And let's talk about breath. Because if you're on a keto diet or just had a garlic-heavy lunch, that situation gets even more intense. Keto breath is next level. Like overripe fruit mixed with nail polish remover and then set on fire. Now imagine that, at close range. It's a lot. Bottom line, personal space matters. Not everyone has the same comfort zone, so pay attention to body language. If someone subtly leans away when you lean in, that's not a challenge to keep inching forward like a romantic drama protagonist about to confess their feelings. That's your cue to give them a little breathing room. Literally. Number 5, the social media oversharer. Listen, I love a good Instagram story as much as the next girl, but if you're documenting every moment of your day, breakfast, your workout, your thoughts on the weather, 16 angles of your coffee, plus a deep emotional caption about how you're really learning to love the journey, people are going to start tuning you out. It's not that your life isn't interesting. It's just that there's no mystery left. We already know what you had for lunch, how your boss annoyed you, and that your cat did something so funny. Even though, let's be honest, it was just cat behavior. By the time someone actually sees you in person, there's nothing left to catch up on. No. So what's new? Because we already know. And look, you don't have to go full social media ghost, but a little mystery? That's powerful. When you don't share every detail, people actually want to ask about your life instead of thinking, "Oh, I already saw it in her 43-story recap." Keep them guessing a little. It's way more fun. Number 6, the name dropper. We get it. You know cool people. But if every sentence includes, "Oh yeah, my friend so-and-so works with them," or "I was just texting insert fancy name here," it doesn't make you sound connected. It makes you sound desperate to prove something. True confidence doesn't need constant validation. Instead of flexing, let people be surprised when they find out you're well connected. That's how you leave an impression without trying too hard. Number 7, the sentence finisher. Ever tried telling someone an important story, only for them to cut you off and finish your sentence for you, and somehow they get it completely wrong? You won't believe what happened at work today. Them. Oh my God, did you finally quit? I knew it. No, I got promoted. Them. Oh ha! I was totally gonna guess that next. It's frustrating, right? You're just trying to share something, but instead it turns into a weird guessing game where the other person is determined to be psychic, and even when they're wrong, they double down, because obviously they almost had it. And the thing is, most sentence finishers don't even realize they're doing it. They're just excited, impatient, or convinced they already know what you're going to say. But instead of feeling heard, the other person just ends up feeling steamrolled. So next time you're in a conversation, pause. Let people finish their own thoughts. Even if you think you know what they're about to say, let them say it, because there's nothing more satisfying than delivering your own punchline without someone else jumping in and ruining the setup. And hey, if you struggle with this, just remember, you're not a mind reader, and you're definitely not Google autocomplete. Let people type out their own sentences. Number 8. The person who never texts back. Look, we all have different texting styles. Some people reply within seconds. Some treat their inbox like a haunted house they're too scared to enter. But if you consistently leave people on read for days, or only pop up when you need something, people will notice. And after a while, they might stop bothering to text you at all. On the flip side, there's the overtexter. You know the one. They send 5 texts in a row, then a MDAs. If you don't respond within an hour, it's a lot. And while enthusiasm is great, no one wants to feel like they're being interrogated just for running errands and not checking their phone for a bit. At the end of the day, balance is key. You don't need to be glued to your phone. But if someone texts you, try to respond within a reasonable amount of time. 24 hours isn't a law. It's just basic social decency. Because nothing says, I care about our friendship, like occasionally acknowledging the other person exists. Number 9. The let's hang out person who never follows through. If I had $1 for every time someone said, we should totally get coffee, and then vanished into the abyss, I'd have at least enough for a latte, maybe even a venti. We all know this person. The one who's always throwing out vague plans but never actually follows through. Let's grab dinner soon. We should totally catch up. OMG, miss you. Drink soon. But the second you try to lock down a date, suddenly they're busier than Beyoncé on tour. Here's the thing. Saying, let's hang out with zero intention of making plans doesn't make you seem friendly. It makes you seem flaky. And after a while, people just stop taking you seriously. So, if you actually want to meet up, pick a date. Even if it's weeks from now, setting a real plan shows you mean it. And if you don't actually want to hang out, that's fine too. Just say, it was great seeing you, and move on. No empty promises needed. Because let's be real, if we added up all the fake let's grab coffee invitations, we could open an entire chain of cafes by now. If you saw yourself in any of these, same. We all slip up sometimes. Social skills are a work in progress. But the good news? Small tweaks make a huge difference. Be present, be aware, and most importantly, don't overthink it. The best way to build a solid reputation is simple. Treat people the way you'd want to be treated. All right, now tell me, have you ever caught yourself making one of these mistakes? No shame, just curious. Drop a comment below and let's chat. And hey, if you found this helpful, or just mildly entertaining, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay classy, manners matters.